about.
Oh, come on. Your drill scores are well below failing. Once they're submitted, Starfleet Command will relegate and reassign this entire crew.
So this wasn't about teamwork?
Teamwork? No, this was about saving my job. The bigger ships always passed my drills with no problem. It was starting to seem like we didn't need a drills program at all. This one needed a crew to fall short to prove the drills were still valuable. And oh, did I find a crew.
You targeted us for failure?
This is a ship whose captain left 4 ensigns on a spacewalk to answer a distress call. It was a pretty safe bet. And of course, it didn't hurt to goose the drills a bit.
Oh, I knew it! That mirror universe drill was rigged.
They were all rigged!
And those horses? I would never get trampled by a horse.
Oh, actually, no, the horses weren't rigged. I ran out of time. That one's on you.
Horses love me, shut up!
Welcome, everyone, to Deep Space Pride, a gay Star Trek podcast. I am one of your hosts, Johnson, and with me, along with his dog, is Mike Thurlow, my co-host. Mike,
hi,
how's it
Johnson.
going?
I am doing all right. I am a little tired. We have a new puppy, as you saw earlier.
I know.
Yes.
He's like cute, but annoying.
He's cute, but is a work in
Adapting.
progress.
He's adapting.
Yes. Yeah. It's been whenever you get a new dog or a pet or anything, it's an adjustment period. And
I guess.
so,
I wouldn't know.
we are adjusting, and I've just been up the last 2 days. So we only got him 2 days ago. So
Yeah.
he's been getting up at, waking up a little bit before 6 a.m.
Oh, my God.
And so I usually get up and take him out.
And he's had a few accidents.
He's had his accidents, yes.
Ugh.
So those are, I actually don't get grossed out by it. I just clean it up and just move on. But it's
It's work.
it's work, yeah. So, but he's really lovable. He loves being around us, and his name is Hamish.
Which is from something that you do not recall.
Is from a show that Dennis and I watched, which we cannot remember. But
So memorable then.
well, it was because we chose the name because it was something that we both liked when we were just talking about this a few weeks ago. And so I don't know, it just came up in conversation. Oh, we should just it was a name that we could agree on. So that's sort of how it came about. And then we actually got him from an Amish family farm, breeders. And so, yes.
Amish.
So Hamish seemed even more appropriate. We did not know that at the time when we went there. So before we got there. So he is a little bit bigger than we realized.
He's huge.
Yes. He's 14 weeks and he is 20 pounds.
Yeah, he's pretty big. How much bigger is he gonna get?
Yeah, he's gonna be a big dog, like 50 pounds probably.
Holy fucking shit!
Yeah,
That's a big dog.
Which is about 20 more pounds.
That is a person.
Yeah, it's about 20 pounds more than what I wanted. I wanted 25.
I thought you wanted a bigger dog and Dennis wanted a smaller dog.
No, the other way around. I wanted a smaller dog.
Oh, okay.
But Dennis's definition of a bigger dog was like 30 pounds. And then we took him. So it all really worked out. So we got to the farm. We picked out the dog. There were 3 boys left in the litter. And we picked out Hamish. And
why did you pick him out of the 3?
The other 2 were they were playing with us, but they were they were already biting and whatnot.
Oh, that's annoying.
And he is sort of quiet, but when he'd come over to you, he'd actually sit, and the other 2 dogs would kind of jump over him. So Dennis liked him at first and said, "What about him?" And I said, "Was playing."
So you wanted the calm one?
Yeah. So he seems, he's a little bit more calm probably, but he's starting to liven up as he gets acclimated. I mean, he's gone from country bumpkin to city dog.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh my God.
it's a transition. But yeah, and right now because he's only 14 weeks, he's stuck in the house / in our backyard. So until he gets his shots all caught up, which hopefully we'll be able to do tomorrow. And then we can start training him on how to walk, which will be interesting. So yeah, it's fraught with challenges, but it's great to have a dog. I know he'll.
I can't do it.
Well, it's a lot of work. I mean, fortunately, there are two of us, but on the days that Dennis is working, it's mostly me. So
yeah, absolutely not.
So it's a lot of work, but yeah, he's awesome. He's adorable. You can see pictures of him over on my Instagram. This is Mike's World. And yeah,
worth it, I guess.
Yes, worth it. It will be. I don't regret it. I mean, I don't regret it. So
yeah, no, it'll get better.
It will get better, and I think because he's a calm dog, he'll, as he gets older, he'll be even more chill, and once we train him not to bite things and chew things and.
Oh my God!
All that stuff. So yeah, sounds like a
nightmare.
It's a process. It's not a nightmare. It's a process. So yeah. So our lives are a little bit more chaotic, and I'm a little bit more tired than normal.
Right. Congratulations on your dog.
Thank you. Thanks. So. As we were talking about earlier, or before we started recording, your fish are still in quarantine. We've not heard about the fish in a really long time.
Yeah.
In fact, Dennis and I were like, does he even have fish anymore? And I was like, well, I don't think so because he hasn't brought them up. And, if he's done with them, he'll just flush them down the toilet and be done with it. So there is no... But as before we recorded, you went over and checked out your anemone.
Yeah, well, that's not a fish. It's an anemone is an anemone, and it's just a little bit displeased right now. I'm not quite sure why. So I was like, kind of expressing concern, but it's fine. And then
how does an anemone
express displeasure?
Yes,
it kind of just shrivels up a little bit. It's like it's just unexpanded. So I'm like, why is it kind of unpleased? I'm not sure. I don't know. It's the water parameters. I'm not sure if there's something irritating it. There could be such a variety of factors, and just whatever. I don't fucking care.
All of the fish it has eaten could have been upsetting its biome.
I mean, it hasn't had any fish to eat in a while, so I don't know. I'm like, whatever. It's it's fine. It'll be fine.
My question is, when is the cat coming? When is the cat moving in?
Ha! It's not happening. Especially after hearing about your dog. I'm like, no, absolutely not. Obviously, cats are very different, but I don't have a place for a litter box. I'm telling you, there's no space.
There's so much room in your apartment.
No, everything has its place. There's no, and litter boxes are an eyesore. It's they're not pleasant to look at, and I'm all about the aesthetics. So I'm kind of where I'm gonna put it, and then it might smell. I'm like, I don't, I can't deal with this shit. So
there we go.
Yeah. Wow. So anyway, so yeah, Mike, why don't we first start with what we've been Star Trekking this week / in the last couple of weeks?
And you people, you're all astronauts on some kind of Star Trek.
So yeah, Mike, do you want to start first? What have you been Star Trekking?
Sure. I think the big thing that I read last week or listened to. I finished it, yeah.
You finished it? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so I finished book 1 of the Star Trek Coda series.
Oh, wow.
Moments Asunder, I think it's called. Or correct. Is that the next one? I forget.
No, I think you're correct. Moments Asunder.
So yeah, it was I think we talked briefly about it before. It's pretty epic. It's a Destiny style epic, I think. But it was really good. Dayton Ward's an excellent author. I've talked a little bit about him before. So this is a great story. Yeah, there's some surprises already.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not there yet.
Yeah, you're not. I think you'll know the surprise when you read it.
Get there.
Yeah, when you
Okay.
get there. It's kind of shocking.
Wow.
And it's sort of it just, I mean, first of all, anyone who reads this should know that there is a lot of death in this.
Right.
Because they're
restarting the
basically-
timeline. So
yeah,
it's
they're
like
basically
a free for all.
they're basically erasing the timeline to some extent. So, yes. So I would call it death is asunder because there's a lot of death happening.
Yeah.
So yeah, but there's a couple of things that will probably surprise you.
Wow. Okay, I'm excited.
So,
yeah, I started reading it last week, and then I got sidetracked because I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Unite.
oh really?
It's really fun. But I did start reading it. It is good. I feel a lot so you mentioned this in the last episode, but yes, there is a quick summary of all the major events that have led up to this point, but it's still a little bit what is happening because, for example, Jean-Luc and Beverly are married. They have a son.
Yes.
I'm like, this is a little weird. At this point, I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't Jean-Luc like in his 80s? Like he's old at this point, and Beverly is no spring chicken either. And
so I think he's in Picard. He's 80, right?
No, in Picard he's like almost 100.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought he was in his 80s. Anyway, no, I think he is in his 80s because he's the same age as he is in real life.
No, it's not. I don't think you're correct. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
You look this up. I will talk a little bit about this. So, the novel takes place in 2387. So it's 13 years before, 12 years before Picard.
So he was born per Memory Alpha in 2305. So by the time we meet him in Picard, he's 95.
Okay. All right. Well, in this, he is
like 80,
82. Yeah, early 80s. But again, people are living to be much older in that time.
Beverly is like, again, I was just like, damn, it's just like old to be like pretty new parents. Beverly is 23, 24. So okay, not she's in her like 60s.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
But again, you have to remember that life is different in the 24th century, 25th, almost.
Right.
25th
It's
century.
like 60 is a new 30. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, people are very active into their, there is a character from the Deep Space Nine novels, right? Vaughn, I think his name is, or maybe I'm saying Vaughn because of Alias, but
who's this?
He's a commander that comes on board Deep Space Nine as part of the relaunch.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And he actually commands the Defiant in some of the books. So, but he is in his over 100, I believe, or something like that, 120, or I don't actually remember, but it's been a long time. So, Elliot Vaughn, I think is his name, or Elias Vaughn, maybe. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've read the Deep Space Nine relaunch novels, but so people are living a lot longer in that time frame. So I don't think that we should get caught up with age. Looking at Patrick Stewart himself, he's a very active 80-year-old. And William Shatner is a very active 90-year-old, and
is Patrick Stewart that active?
He's fairly active.
Frail to me, but whatevs.
So anyway, so there is that piece. He was married to Beverly in this timeline, and they do have a son, who's named Renee, but also has Jack in there. And
it's a whole mess of names.
Yes, it's a whole long list of names. So so there's that. yeah. So I don't want to say too much, but
You can't. No,
you
no,
can.
don't say too much.
Yeah, it's epic and it's definitely worth the read. And I am hotly anticipating the next book, which comes out at the end of October. And
Oh, that's soon.
yeah, at the end of they're coming out once a month at the end of the
Oh,
month.
wow.
So whatever the last Tuesday of each month is, that's when they're coming out. And so we've still got a couple weeks before the next one. But yeah, it's epic, a la Destiny. I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot like Destiny in that sort of epic way.
Right, where it's like you have a lot of things going on and they're weaving together all the different franchises.
Yes.
It's like a lot. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, the first book's excellent. Dayton Moore did a excellent job with it. I did not feel lost because I've not read a lot of the novels. I've read some of them, but not a lot of them. So,
correct, right.
So I didn't feel lost really. He does a good job of explaining things. So
yeah.
So I definitely highly recommend
He
it.
does recap. Yeah. I've noticed
Recaps.
What you mentioned last week, which is like there's a quick recap weaved into the exposition.
Yes.
So I was like, okay.
Throughout the book, not just at the beginning. So at the beginning,
right. I'm like, okay, this is helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I need this.
Yeah, so he does put that exposition in throughout the story. So so you kind of can keep up. So I thought it was great, and I highly recommend everybody read it. Pick it up in either paperback or audiobook or audiobook. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically all I've trying to think, other than watching Lower Decks.
That's it for me too. It's just Coda and Lower Decks, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there are any announcements really that we've seen, but nothing comes to mind. No,
we're a few weeks away from Prodigy. We're actually 1 week away from the season finale of
it's all coming up very soon, and then next month we have Discovery, and then it's New Year's, and then I'll be 40, and then we'll see what happens. Right? And then I'll be eventually dead. Yes. Yes, that is correct.
So that's all I've really had time to do. It's well worth it, and I highly recommend people pick it up.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess that does it for what we've been Star Trekking, because again, I haven't done much else either for my Star Trek time. So why don't we get into this week's Lower Decks episode? Excretus.
Mariner, I really need to get out of here. Like now. Ooh, kind of tickles.
A remarkable creature. Your design very nearly passes as human.
I am human?
Oh, well, then you need to drink more water. Your skin is a mess. But still, I think I should add your biological distinctiveness to our own. It's kind of our thing.
Are you sure? Because I've got hay fever and acid reflux. Adding me might result in a net negative for the collective.
Yeah, so the title, I didn't really get it the first go around, and I paid attention the second time I watched it, and I get it now.
It was kind of it doesn't mean anything, and it's literally just based on one line.
Yeah, so, exactly. Whatever. Yeah. But why don't you start off? Why don't you tell me what did you think of Excretus?
Yeah, I really liked this episode. I thought it was really strong. I thought that I think the thing that I liked most about this episode is that it was one cohesive narrative that included all our characters. I think that and I would compare this to season 1's Veritas, because it was like just one narrative through a line that everyone took part in, and you had like some almost like montagey moments, but it was still all tied together, and I really like that. I feel like that's been something that we've talked about this in other episode reviews, but sometimes we get bogged down with like too many storylines, A, B, C,
And then retreads,
and a
right?
half. Like, yeah, and sometimes retreading similar plot lines and stuff.
Yeah.
But I thought that this was this was a great episode in that it just did a really great job of having all our characters kind of centralized into one plot. So again, we had these little small tangents, but I thought that it was great. It was funny. It was like well edited. It was like it was fast. There were quick cuts, quick moments, and I actually there were a few moments where I really laughed out loud, and I did not expect Alice Kriege, however you say her name. That
Alice
was a
Krieg,
pleasant surprise.
yeah.
I didn't even like. I was like because like I when the Border Queen appeared and she has such a distinctive voice. I was like, wait, is that her? She has a very distinctive way of talking that I was like, wait, this sounds so familiar. Is it her? And yeah, it was great. She had a guest spot, so I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I was really happy that they got her to do that. I mean, I recognized that voice right away.
Right. I was like, what?
It's kind of smooth, husky, sensual, like devious, all in the same breath.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
But it's a deeper, it's not a higher pitched voice. It's like a sort of a lower, deeper,
right.
Freaky.
But not as much as Christian / Avasarala, who sounds like she smokes 80 packs of cigarettes a day.
Yes, yeah, no, not that deep, but definitely
that's another level.
That is another level,
and
I love her voice too.
Though. Yeah, she has a great voice as well. But no, but I thought this was great. Yeah, what did you think? What were some of your favorite moments?
Yeah, I think that so far this is probably my favorite episode of the season. It really ticked off a lot of things for me. One, I liked your, just like you, I liked the one cohesive storyline. I liked how it brought the crew together. So the lower decks with the upper decks. I loved Boimler in this episode. I mean, I just, yeah, for me, Boimler is really strengthening his character. And I think that's been like a slow progression, but it's sort of stepping up. If you notice over the last couple of episodes, he's getting accolades from like Ransom and
and you mentioned this in the last episode. I feel he needs to get promoted soon.
I think so.
Because Freeman was like, he's one of our best, and I was like, and then Mariner was like, he is, and I was like, no, he's very competent.
He's getting recognized, and so I thought this was a great and yes, he gets recognized at the end by the captain and everyone, but I also think that even on his own in this story, just the way that he kept on going, like hit me, like kept on, like even when it only went up 1%, he kept on doing it, like he was gonna get a perfect score.
Right.
And then he had to give it all up. He got to 100% and then had to give it up to save the crew. But there were, I think his storyline in this was my favorite, and I love the growth and development of him. And I think that remark to Mariner that he's that she says that shocks Mariner is that he's one of the best. That I don't know, I'm foreseeing possibly some changes for him next season, maybe becoming
again
a lieutenant. But I think it's earned. Like this time it's earned, right? This time it's not
earned it in season 1, didn't he?
I don't know if he, earned. I think he's worked. Then if he earned it in season 1, I think he's worked for it in this season. He's definitely stepped it up against Mariner. He's growing, and I love it.
I agree.
So I think out of all the characters, you're seeing the most growth from him as a lower decker than anyone else. Mariner's sort of playing it the same. Tendi is still trying to get in the good graces of Dr. Tiana. And Rutherford's just kind of, I don't know, he's almost kind of static. He's kind of like still.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's coasting, but he's comfortable where he is.
Yeah, I feel like but I feel like he is coasting to some extent.
You think so?
A little bit. I think that
he's still like, we still see a part of, like, we still see him, his like passion for engineering.
Yes,
you know?
Definitely he has a passion for engineering, no doubt about it. I just think that he's sort of, I don't know. I mean, I get it. You know, he had to lose his memories and everything, but I also think he lost something of himself in that process too.
Really?
Yeah, I think that, maybe his confidence a little bit, his just, I feel like he acts like he's been playing catch up, trying to rebuild memories, but I don't know, I just feel like he's really coasting. I love the character, don't get me wrong. I love Rutherford. I love the buddy with him and Boimler. I love his engineering prowess and just how he likes to do things, but I really think, and I love Ernie Cadero, right, who plays him, who does his voice. I think he's great too. So I think I told you on Star Trek Day, I have a little bit of a crush on him. I think he's that.
Yes, I recall.
He's that good. So yeah, I think for the most part he's coasting. So I really see Brad like on this upward trajectory, and right. I think I agree with you. I don't think again, I think Mariner is a different story, but I don't think that either Tendi or Rutherford are particularly ambitious. Tendi does. I feel Tendi is more she's getting over her own insecurities and she wants to be more vocal. Like she's like, I feel she's like trying to, like we've seen that, like she's trying to improve herself and be more recognized, but I don't necessarily think it's because she wants to get promoted. It's because she's trying to learn to be more assertive and trying to overcome her inhibitions, right? Rutherford is just kind of this like happy-go-lucky. I don't know if he's, because I can relate to that in a certain extent where, sometimes I like to just focus on my work, and part of me, and I had to learn to be more assertive in terms of being recognized, but I used to be, at a certain point in my career, I used to kind of just focus on my work and do it well and expect that if I am doing it well, that people will see it and I will get promoted, versus someone like Boimler, who we see this in the next episode. He's like, oh, I got a network, I got to spend time with certain people. We've seen this in the past as well when he was hanging out with the red shirts. It's like he's more the type that he's not only trying to do his job well, but he also feels like he needs to make certain connections and he needs to be with the right people, where he is ambitious, but I don't see that from Tendi and Rutherford in the same way. Yeah, I think that's a good way of putting it. So so there's just so much about this episode to love, though. I mean, Mariner goes through 3 or 4 different simulations. Oh, that was really funny. So even her, I'm kind of shocked that she failed all of them. I thought that there would be one where she would sort of figure it out, but then you learn later on that it was all kind of a setup anyway. Right. So we really don't know how she would have done had except for the horses. The horses was just her not doing well. The horses. Yeah, that's right. Else, that's right. Apparently, everything else was kind of it was kind of rigged. Yeah. So there's that. I did really I loved the Rutherford Star Trek II. The needs of the many exercise. Yeah. and then seeing the ship blow up, that was really great. Tendy's experience was just all kind of
it was from
it's from Next Generation, but
but
I felt like that scene
no, what's the name of the episode? Ethics. There we go.
Ethics. I think that whole scene was done for complete humor, really.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think, and then seeing the upper deckers, the command crew, having to stack crates and not do anything and not be able to help, and I thought I loved Rutherford, Tendy, and Mariner having lunch in the captain's ready room with all the food, and it was just seeing the command crew sleeping in the lower decks. I mean, it was just it was so filled with so many great scenes that I don't know the Pendronian.
Sherry,
I've
never seen the animated series, so it's completely unfamiliar to me.
Yeah, so I've never watched the complete series of the animated series, so that was kind of the villain of the episode, so to speak. But I also really liked how Mariner and Freeman came together, and so there was that piece, and there's just there's nothing that I can think of in this episode that I really didn't like. Like, I just enjoyed it from start to finish.
And I love the teaser when they were like on the satellite, and then they were like,
we didn't even
and then
do
they got
that.
left behind.
Yeah, and then
great.
They got picked up, and then there was
6 hours later.
6 hours later, they get picked up, and then it goes to the opening credits, and then it comes back, and they're still in sick bay,
right?
And they're actually fighting with the command crew about this, which I thought was really great.
Yeah, because sometimes the teasers are completely disconnected from the episode,
right? And
so I thought this was great.
Yeah,
it was a great setup, and the Pendronian totally brings it back because she's like, you literally left 4 ensigns behind.
Yeah, exactly.
On an away mission and just forgot about them. And there is a certain truth to what she was saying, where this crew is very much not the best. They're not, they're just not. They're not the best. They're literally, they are a crew where the entire senior staff forgot that they had 4 ensigns on some sort of mission. So I thought that was a very good point, but then Freeman's point was that, yes, we're not the best, but that doesn't mean that we don't know our shit, So,
right, yeah,
or that we don't know how to like handle situations or things like that. So,
yeah, and the end of the episode, it was mainly the ensigns and Captain Freeman on the bridge,
right? I love the search for Spock.
That's part of their scenario, right? But I'm talking about after when having Rutherford at the con drill. And Tendy at ops.
I love the graphic where it was them escaping from space dock.
Yes,
and they didn't even make it out of space dock.
They couldn't.
That was perfect. I was like, this is literally this crew. They can't even make it out of space dock.
Yeah, that was actually another great scene. Yeah, I mean, this is an episode I will definitely go back and watch again and again, just because it's so enjoyable. It's just all this for me is the best episode of season 2 so far.
Oh yeah, no, it was really good. Yeah,
I have no complaints about it. I've listened to some other people say, it was a filler episode. It was kind of blah.
I didn't think so. I heard that too.
So
I didn't feel that. I thought that it progressed the overall relationships between the senior staff and lower deckers. And we see definitely some character evolution with Boimler in particular. And honestly, and we've discussed this too. This is the type of episode that I prefer, where you have a lot of callbacks and Easter eggs, but it's more kind of lived in versus like, it's just, something in the background. They actually like go through it. And those are kind of Easter eggs that I enjoy. where you know exactly what the reference is that they're going after.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it was it was all used really well. Yeah, by far my favorite. Yeah, my favorite episode of this season.
And we get a lot of even crystalline entity in this episode. That was
Yeah,
great.
yeah, we get some random stuff about like that, and the black hole and how they could just pull out of it, and
They're fine.
yeah, they're fine. So I think they may not be the best crew in the fleet, but they're a good crew, and they look out for each other. So I think that's part of it. They're coming. What I'm really enjoying is that they're coming together as a crew.
Yeah,
Like we've seen some mingling between a lot more mingling between the command crew and the lower deckers. And I think that's great. I think it's becoming more of an ensemble cast, or a very typical Next Generation, crew. So type crew. And so yeah, I'm enjoying the way that this is progressing as a season. And so I didn't feel like this was filler at all. And also, what the thing is, the arc of the season, this isn't necessarily a show that I think has a complete arc. Yeah, we have the Packleds, right. That's sort of this overarching like villain, or, causing trouble in their sector or whatever. But for the most part, these are really just like Next Generation. They're episodic in nature. You don't, out of a 10 episode season, maybe you might think this is filler, but I don't think this is. Yeah, that's assuming that you think that the 10 episodes is a complete arc, and rather than an arc, I just see this as a progression. And I haven't really enjoyed. This is the first episode where I've enjoyed it start to finish, but I really feel like there have been some hits and misses in this season.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like we're coming up to some hopefully these last 3 episodes are, payoff for the whole season, but also just brings what I feel like Lower Decks can be and can become. Like I almost feel like I almost feel like this is their first season of, like if how everyone's first season kind of sucks or whatever. I feel like this is their second season is actually feeling more like they're like a typical Star Trek first season.
I mean, it's usually worse, but I mean, there were definitely hits and misses in the season. But say if I compared it to TNG season 1, I thought this is better. So, but no, I agree with you. I wouldn't mind, honestly, if every episode was like this. I think that would be awesome if they didn't try to honestly try to cover so much and try so hard to kind of give everyone disparate storylines and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely use more episodes like this. So I thought it was great.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. I think that does it for this episode. So we only have 2 episodes left. We already watched episode 9, but we're going to talk about it next week.
Right. Yes.
So everyone will just have to wait until we do that. In the meantime, Mike, did you want to talk a little bit about our sponsor?
Yeah, absolutely. So as everyone I'm sure knows, Fansets is our exclusive sponsor of Deep Space Pride and the Trek Geeks podcast network. And we actually have a little contest. We have a couple of Voyager DS9 magnetic deltas to give away from
Fansets.
So
very exciting for those that like swag.
Yeah, and these are nice. So at not Star Trek Las Vegas, as I like to call it.
not SCLV.
I picked up the magnetic ones of the Picard Delta and the Discovery Season 3 Delta, which are awesome. They're both magnetic and they're awesome. And so I have no doubt that these Voyager Deep Space Nine comm badges are equally as awesome in quality. And
right.
In fact, this was I think they...
Wait, where's your pin board? Is it still behind you?
Oh no, I took it down for I had to do a Zoom that I needed a clean background.
Oh, okay. I was like, where'd it go?
Yeah, I forgot to put it back up. But they're just right over there, just
Oh,
out of the
okay.
shot.
Okay.
So I needed
it.
a clean shot for this interview I did.
Oh.
So yeah, so we're gonna run a little contest for the next week.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is sort of a ripoff a little bit of StarTrek.com, but we would like you to respond to our social post for this episode and tell us what simulation or / drill you would like to be a part of. And it can be one of the ones that was covered in this episode of Lower Decks, or it can be another one. And if you want to freeze frame the beginning of the drill scene, you'll see up on the board there are a bunch of different scenarios that they were offered. So,
oh, you mean in the
actual episode. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but we'd love to hear from our listeners as to which one, and we will randomly pick two people from that respond to that on our social media
that live in the U.S.
That live in the U.S. So yes, we do need you to live in the U.S. for this contest. I'm sorry to all our international listeners, but
sorry, not sorry.
So yeah, so definitely reply to our Instagram and Twitter posts on this episode, and which will be coming out tomorrow, Friday, October 8th, and will run until next Thursday night at midnight Eastern time, which is October 14th. There we go. At 11:59 p.m. So do that, and we'll pick two people who will win one each of a DS9 Voyager magnetic comm badge pin from Fansets. And we thank Fansets for this free swag to give away, and we thank them for sponsoring our podcast and the Trek Geeks Podcast Network.
Thanks, Fansets. Cool. All right. Sounds good. Another episode in the can. For those of you that want to reach out or you want to enter our contest, you can reach us on social media on Twitter and Instagram at Deep Space Pride, or you can email us at deepspacepride@gmail.com, and we will do our best to respond to you. Otherwise, that's it.
Now we have 2 episodes left of Lower Decks, and then I think we have a week off before.
1 week off that we're gonna have to decide what to do about, and then we get into Prodigy. So
yeah. So if you want to email us some ideas about what we could do for the off week, because it will be an off week. We won't have. Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll finish Coda, and we can talk a little bit about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we can do that.
But we won't have Coda Book 2 until the following week. So, yeah.
Cool. All right. Sounds good. Well, we will talk to everyone soon. And thanks, Mike, for being here and talking with me about Star Trek.
Always happy to talk a lot about Star Trek. And yeah, thanks everybody for listening. And we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everyone.
Deep Space Pride is a production of Coconut Media Works. Executive producers Bill Smith and Dan Davidson. For more great Star Trek discussion, discover the other shows of the Trek Geeks Podcast Network at trekgeeks.com, or find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast app.
Coconut.